Hi guys, it's Jen. I'm back today. Today's topic is how to pick a manifestation goal for yourself. Hi guys, it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to talk about the importance of setting an intention for your manifestations, because this is a very, very simple, basic step in the law of attraction, and yet it is something that I still see people kind of messing up over and over and over again. So if you are setting out on a journey, on any journey, anywhere, you need to have an end destination in mind. Otherwise, you're just kind of bobbing around and seeing what comes your way. And it's the exact same thing with manifesting. So when I talk to people and I ask them what they're trying to manifest into their life, and they answer with something vague and fuzzy like more money or love or success or something like that, really you haven't started manifesting yet. The journey hasn't begun because you have not done the work of locking in on your target. So today I want to talk a little bit about why I think that happens and give you guys some techniques so you can start to get a little bit more clarity and to start actually honing in on what you want and starting to make that happen for yourself. So the number one reason why I think this happens is because people are a little bit lazy, and I don't want you guys to get offended by that, but it does take some extra effort and work to really hone in and figure out what you want. But this is why it is so important, because your definition of success or love or money or whatever it is that you are after is going to be very, very different than someone else's. So we need to pick a target. We need to pick a line in the sand to go towards. And I just don't want you guys to get caught up in thinking that you're limiting yourself or that you aren't picking the right thing. Like, I think there's a lot of worry about picking the right goals, but I don't want you to worry about picking the right thing. I don't want you to worry about thinking too small or thinking too big. Right now, just in the beginning, I just want you guys to pick something. And we are just going to start to go for that and just see what happens. The second point that I want to make with picking a manifesting goal is that you get to manifest more than one thing in your lifetime. So I think a lot of people get into this like genie bottle, I only get 3 wishes kind of mentality, and we start to go for something really, really big because we think this is never going to happen for us again. But what I really want to teach you guys is that this is a tool that you can keep learning and keep using throughout your life. So in the beginning, I don't want you to pick something that is so crazy overwhelming that is going to be difficult for you to actually manifest. I want you to pick something really reasonable to target. And the reason for that is that we can start building on it and start asking for more. The point I want to make here is that you get more than one wish. You get to ask over and over and over again. And what's more than that, if you decide that you need more of something, you can go and ask for more of something. So you get do-overs, you guys. This isn't a one-time only affair. So please don't freak yourself out thinking that you have to get the perfect wish in, because that isn't the way it works. This is something you can come back to over and over again. So I need you to drop that old, outdated way of thinking. The third reason why I think people have a difficulty actually honing in on a manifesting target is because they're afraid of failure. And I totally get this. Like, when we start to ask for something, when we set a target in our life, the biggest thing that starts to get in our way is always fear. And fear of failure is something that is so real for so many of us. However, if you don't set a target, then you haven't really begun the process. And if you are afraid of what people are going to think, or afraid of what you are going to feel about yourself if you quote unquote fail, it's really time for you to start to rethink your goals in a different light. So I think this idea of failure isn't very helpful for us. Like, I think if you really commit to something and you really want to make it happen, you will make it happen. And the only thing that actually stops you is you giving up. So what we usually call failure is usually just a redirection or a delay. And if you think of it like that, if you think of it like, I'm just learning a new lesson, I just have to try another tactic, I just have to wait a little longer, then that makes it so much easier to bear than to think, I'm a failure, I can't do this, I shouldn't have bothered trying. So if you are struggling with the idea of failure, I think it's really just time for you guys to reframe your beliefs and your thought processes around failure to make them more empowering for the life that you want to live. Anytime you put yourself out there and start to create something new in your life, you are going to run into this fear of failure. So if fear of failure is what's holding you back, then you really need to work on that issue and not just try to get around it by not setting a target. Okay, so now I'm going to give you a couple of strategies to help get you back in the seat of consciously creating your life. So the first thing I want to just remind you guys is that this is a process of co-creation. So part of the process of manifesting is you picking something, and then the universe will kind of come and match you and meet you halfway. So that doesn't work. You can't really dance by yourself, right? Like you need a partner in this. So the example that I want to give you guys here, if you have ever had this experience, you will know how frustrating it is. But I've had this happen a few times. Say I'm going out for dinner with somebody, and I ask them, what kind of food do you feel like eating, or where do you feel like going for dinner? And they're like, oh, it doesn't really matter. And then I have to do all these mental gymnastics and list a bunch of restaurants and list a bunch of types of food and try to like kind of work backwards in order to figure out something for them to agree on. I mean, this is a really awful place to be in. If you've ever experienced this, you'll know how frustrating it is. So I don't want you to be like the person with no opinion when it comes to your own life. So the universe is going to want to help you out, but you need to have some opinions. You need to have a direction. You need to have a goal in mind. Otherwise, the universe is trying to dance with itself, and that isn't co-creation. That isn't anything at all. So I really want you guys to get out of that old mentality and to really start clarifying the things you are after, the values that are important to you, and the places you want to go next, because it really does matter. And even if you don't quite get to where you think you wanted to go, life will give you a bunch of stepping stones. So you take a step, the next stone will appear. You take a step, the next stone will appear. And you keep going down the path this way. But that is a path of your choosing. You might choose to go to another direction eventually, but that is okay. The point is that you chose this way and that you are following your desires and you are creating the life you want from what's inside of you, not just reacting to the things that come up. So it's super important to get clarity on that, because you are a conscious creator, but that is a co-creation process. So you need to do your part and show up and have an opinion. Okay, my last tip for you guys, if you are still having difficulties thinking about what you want to manifest or deciding on what you want to manifest, I know that sometimes we feel like we are locking ourselves in. Why pick just one thing when there's so many amazing things that we could ask for ourselves? And that's kind of true, but I really do believe that you need to still hone it down. So if you really honestly can't decide on one thing, maybe you're looking for a new apartment and you're torn between this neighborhood and that neighborhood, or between a house and an apartment, or between whatever, like seaside, countryside, whatever it is for you. Why don't you come up with as many ideal solutions as you can? So again, I just really don't like to think of life in terms of black and white. I don't like to ever think that there's only one right decision. There's usually many right decisions for us at any moment in time. So when you realize that, that takes a little bit of the pressure off, because you don't have to find the one perfect thing. You can find something that you are totally, absolutely in love with. But there might be 3 other things that you would also be totally, absolutely in love with. The point here is just to clarify what those things are. The point here is just to figure out what lights you up from the inside, what gets you going, what makes you excited. Anything that you can bring to the table is good. So if you have to tone it down to 3 options or to 2 options or something like that, that's at least a better step in the right direction than not having a goal in mind at all. So that's my last tip, is just to, if you really can't narrow it down as much as possible and come to a few different ideal scenarios. And if that feels better for you, then try to do it that way. But I really think the more clarity and the more decision and the more life force we bring to this stuff, the better off our results will be. So I really challenge you to sit with it and think about it and really dare to dream and dare to pick a target, because you never know what's going to happen, but you have to start doing it yourself. You need to start co-creating, and that involves you, your thoughts, your desires, and your dreams. So I hope this video gives you guys a little bit of inspiration on how you can pick a manifestation target. This is really the beginning step, the first step on the journey. So I really want to make sure that you guys are covering this before you start getting into all the other stuff, because the other stuff won't really matter if you don't know what you are going towards. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Jen. I'm from thealignedlife.co. If you want to learn more about me, come on over to the website. I've got a free resource library of amazing guided meditations, free trainings, and more for you to check out. So come on over and sign up for updates. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you want to hear more from me, hit that subscribe button, and I will be back here soon with another video. So until then, get ready for the miracle. Namaste.